agencies that are serving as deputies with the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office, and I'm saving that 44, I will be saving the 44%. This past year I saved the 38%. That had not been being done with prior administrations at the Sheriff's Office. So that saved us 6 figures just in that first year, which is part of watching that sort of thing is why we have been able to do so well with the budget that we had.
Right. Is this 5,000,008 plus, is that adequate for the other 3 that's coming on board? Is
Yes,
that
sir.
already
That
set
will
in?
cover me up to there. Now I'll be candid with you. I'm going to be, because the other thing I have tasked my command staff with, I've got 5 folks that work with me in command that are long-term police professionals. And I told them, if we don't tell the fiscal court and the people of Bullitt County how many people we need to give them world-class police protection, they will never know, and we're not giving the fiscal court the opportunity to step up and help us do that. So I've told them, I don't want to know what on a beer budget we can get by with. I want you to tell me what we need to provide outstanding world-class police protection. Now I look at Mount Washington, for instance, the number of officers that they have for a much smaller geographic area that we have, and I've broken down, we don't have it ready yet, but we're working on breaking down the entire county. How much of the county is patrolled by Mount Washington? How much is patrolled by Shepherdsville? How much by Hillview, Pioneer Village, Lebanon Junction, and then what's left for Bullitt County? We have over, not counting Fort Knox, which we sort of do and we sort of don't have the responsibility for that, but that's for another day too. But we have 100 square miles that my deputies have to patrol day in, day out, 24/7. And I'm going to be coming to you with some figures of what, on a national standard wise, how many deputies does it take to deal with the population. And we have about 50% of the population of Bullitt County lives in the unincorporated areas of the county. So with that number, whether it's 40,000 or 50,000, depending upon where we actually are in terms of what our population is, we've got that, plus we've got the geographic situation of 100 square miles, and I'm going to be coming to you with a figure later on, well before you all have to make a final decision on your budget for 2020. I've told my folks, you got to get me this in February because the fiscal court's going to be dealing with their budget in February through April, and we don't want to take and be springing something on you guys in June as to what we need equipment-wise, money-wise, manpower-wise, or manpower-wise mainly, so that you can be thinking about what we can do. We're applying for grants. 2019 was the first time the Kentucky State Police says the Bullitt County Sheriff's Office ever turned any guns over to them, which by law we have to turn guns that we seize. We either got to set on them or turn them over to them. And in order for us to apply for a grant to get ballistic vests, rifles, tasers, any of that stuff, we have to participate in turning those guns over. We turned over 70-some guns back in April. We've got more that we're processing now to get sent up to them, which has put us in a position that we are applying for a grant with the Kentucky State Police Department of Homeland Security to get new ballistic vests for everybody. When I came in, all the deputies of Bullitt County did not have ballistic vests. Through the graciousness of John Aubrey, the sheriff of Jefferson County, who provided me with somewhere between 15 and 25 vests, I have been able to put a ballistic vest on every deputy that we've got. But some of them they've been around a while. Now, do I have confidence that they'll stop a bullet? I do, but they still need, for the certification that we want from the ballistic vest manufacturer, we've got to get new ones, and we're in the process of making application to the Department of Homeland Security and hope that before the end of the first quarter, we will receive a grant to obtain new ballistic vests for everybody. And we have to, the first grant that everybody has to get from them, it's my understanding, first has to be for ballistic vests. So
Okay.
The lawyer in me comes out, you ask me what time it is, and I'll tell you how to build a watch.
Okay.
I know you put a lot of time in this, and I'm gonna make a motion that we, accept the Bullitt County Sheriff's 2020 budget as presented.
I'll second that motion. Any other discussion? Sam, call the roll.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Rahal?
Yes.
Judge Summers?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff
Thank you,
Scholler.
Sheriff.
And we're also going to table number 16, sign-ins, Gary Board, special election.
Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
I was hoping by now everybody would be aware of our special election next Tuesday. But I was at McDonald's this morning and there was a gentleman sitting there.
All right.
He said, wow. So sort of give him the information. So I urge everyone to tell their friends, their neighbors of the special election, make them aware of it. If you vote in Bullitt County, then it's all of Bullitt County, parts of Valley Station, Oklahoma, Fairdale, and Fern Creek. So let's try to get a large turnout because this is an important election. Thank you all.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Gary. Tom Rogers, EMS.
Good morning. My name's Tom Rogers. I live out in the Brooks area. And what I'm going to discuss with you, I hope, is a fluke and not the norm. Because if it's the norm, Bullitt County's got a problem. On December the 8th, on a Sunday, my wife was preparing dinner in the kitchen. My son stopped by. Front door was locked, so he rang the doorbell. She went into the living room and to step into the foyer to unlock the door and slipped on an area rug, hit her head on the wall and about a 2-foot square carton that Amazon had previously submitted. The impact of the force was enough that her Apple Watch automatically dialed EMS. My son was talking to EMS, told her about the severe head injury. The dispatcher said, "Is there any other injuries?" Yes, she hurt her knee. Okay, we waited and waited. Finally, here comes an ambulance wandering back the street, comes in the driveway. No lights, no siren. Fellow gets out, knocks on the door and says, "We've been told someone here has a knee injury." What? How about a severe head injury? Well, the dispatcher just told us there was a knee injury. Okay, so he looks at my wife. Now, normally, I think medical people assess the injuries and decide what to do. She's laying there, with her head swollen out, and eyes swelling shut. Both palms are bruised where she hit the wall. Normally, you think someone will put a neck brace on, or maybe they'll check vision to see if you're coherent. No. Do you think you can stand up? How about that? So my son helps this guy stand my wife up, and they walk her to the ambulance. Walk her. The other guys got the stretcher out finally. They put her on the stretcher. She has just gone through a severe case of pancreatitis. This is painful. They say childbirth and a kidney stone is just a child's play compared to pancreatitis. When they put her on the stretcher, this big guy is putting the hold-down straps down. She asked him to be careful around her abdomen. He is cranking it down. And then when he puts her in the ambulance, she's in tears from the pain. Now, when they leave there, no lights, no siren. They come down to the four-way stop at Brooks Road and 1020, get in line at the four-way stop, and progress through like traffic with no lights, no siren. There's 3 lights at I-65. They move through all three of those with traffic, no lights, no siren. They get up to the northbound entrance to 65, there's a tractor trailer rig, 8 cars sitting there. Do they flip the lights and move around? No, they get in behind it. Ease through, wait for this rig to build up speed to get on 65, and they blend with traffic. You get up to the Watterson, that's a bottleneck, everybody knows about it, that ramp that goes on there. Do they hit the lights and siren? No, they get in line, progress through that to the Watterson. Now on the Watterson, these guys are starting to discuss their social life through the little hole in there. About what they're doing, what they're so forth. And they were making remarks about how they had snookered another crew that went on a run that they didn't want. About midway toward Breckenridge Lane, my wife asked if she could have an ice pack. This guy says, oh, yeah. So he gives her an ice pack. You know, duh, head injury, swelling, how about an ice pack? Get to Breckenridge Lane, same thing. There's 4 lights from Breckenridge Lane to Kersey Way to Baptist East Hospital. Do they go through there? No. No lights, no siren. You could grow old sitting on Breckenridge Lane. And we finally get her to the hospital. Now that is pure incompetency, the way I see it. And hopefully you can identify these characters from those photos. Exhibit 3, you can see the guy cranking down on that lap strap. Exhibit 4, he's putting some weight on it. Like an over-the-road truck driver checking a load. Maybe that's what he used to do. Exhibit 5 was the bruise from that load strap on her tummy. Now this kind of stuff is not acceptable to me. I mean, where are you finding these guys? Mayberry? There was no training involved there. They didn't want to do their job. You don't socialize and discuss things going down the interstate trying to get someone to a hospital.
Was you in the rig with them, sir?
Sir?
Was you in the rig with them?
Oh, sir, I was 1 car behind. My son was 1 car behind me. It's also a HIPAA violation to discuss medical records of another person in public. Those guys were having a good old time about, there's a certain person apparently that makes a run every now and then that they don't like doing. Well, they had gotten out of that one somewhere, and that was a big funny ha-ha. You know, they gave the guy's name, who he is. That's a violation. There's fines up to $1,500 for that. You don't give out medical information or discuss patients in front of people.
Kenny's still here?
No, he's gone. But what we will do, Mr. Rogers is this, we'll investigate this to the fullest and see what did. We've worked diligently to be able to improve the standards of EMS. And this is simply not acceptable to this court.
Absolutely, it's not acceptable.
And I'm being brutally honest with you. We have been down there, we've had meetings with them we've had 3 meetings with them last Thursday and Friday, even Friday evening. So I will give you my, and hopefully, and I know the court will too, we will get to the bottom of this, because this is not what we expect. This is not what we have stood out as an administration to buy them new equipment, to raise their standards of pay to where we can get qualified people here. And also we have a doctor on staff and we'll review this with him as well. This won't go unnoticed, it won't be swept under the rug. And I truly appreciate you coming in here for this, because this is something that we have, in this administration, and I'm not going to get on a pulpit here, but we've knocked a lot of rough edges off of a lot of things in this county. And the world that I came from personally, I'm going to use that pronoun, employee safety was number one. And to me, the safety of this community is number one to this administration. This is why we have stretched our budget to fulfill what we view as emergency standards, to support our local police departments, and to better position ourselves to have a top-notch emergency services in this community. And I'm truly disappointed in what I see here today. I mean, truly. And this won't go unabated. I mean, we will do something about it. I mean, because we have hired a personnel director, and herself and the deputy judge and myself and the director and members of this court has spent numerous hours down there to make sure something like this doesn't happen and to teach them about patient care.
Now, I will say, my mother-in-law is 89 years old, still lives by herself. On occasion, she gets down and we had to transport her.
Right.
About 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Bullitt County EMS showed up. Those two guys were fantastic.
Yes, sir.
They knew how to get her out of the bed without
Right.
hurting her, and they took her to the hospital. I was impressed, and that was great. But something's wrong now.
No, I get that. And sometimes, and to help you, Mr. Rogers, in the world that I came from, you have a scale here and you have a scale here and you have in the middle. But those on this end of the scale, we don't want anything to happen like this.